So I have always been anti-green room, and I try to spend as much time meeting the people coming to my shows and then meeting the people not coming to my shows.
Okay.
Or having experiences in the city that I'm in or in the nature that the community is in.
Yeah.
So during different tours would hitchhike away from the tour and go find like a museum or a climbing gym or a bookstore or wherever and just meet strangers who are not engaged with music and find out about their experience.
Yeah.
So I feel like I've been doing my own, the world is not just like my anti-green room, it's like my pro classroom.
Yeah.
I want to be if I'm serious about anything, it's like doing my learning and the best classroom has been the road for me.
Yeah. But okay, so you came here today?
Yeah.
When were you here?
Just this afternoon to go visit the modern and contemporary wing.
Right on.
Yeah.
And you do that like fairly frequently? I mean, you're interested in modern and contemporary art, clearly?
Yeah. So before I started doing music full time, I was an art student full time.
Yeah.
Working in like drawing and painting and photography.
Cool.
So all of my formal training within the arts is not in the music.
Right.
I went to Art Magnet School in Harrisburg, where I'm from, for film and video. And then started pursuing a fine art degree at BFA at Tyler School of Art in Philadelphia.
Okay, cool.
So I still have been like drawing and taking photos all these years, but that's really just something I keep for myself.
Right.
And I guess that's why I like to go, instead of collecting books or records, which I used to do, it's just go see art that I, in person, have like long admired.
Sure.
So anywhere that I am in the world, I like to go to museums and galleries.
Do you know, like, are you fairly aware of like what current exhibits are going to be there, of the kind of like turnover, stuff like that?
Oh yeah.
You know?
I mean, the last time that I was here at the museum, I came here to see the Chris Wool solo show.
Yeah, right on. I've heard of that.
He's a Chicago artist who's really incredible, and I love that the art tours around the country, more than I get to.
Yeah.
So it's really awesome to kind of see the art travel around and then permanent collections.
Right.
So I came here today to see some Cy Twombly and Rauschenberg and stuff that I hadn't seen before.
Cool.
Yeah.
What draws you to contemporary art and modern art versus like being into Renaissance painters or into sculpture or things like that?
I love historical art, but there's no but. I love historical art.
Okay, yeah.
And I think I connect obviously with like contemporary modern stuff because it speaks more to my sensibility and what I was raised with.
Sure.
So, I mean, just for inspiration, I think as much as music is, the visual arts, it's just a practice of interpretation.
Yeah.
So for me, it's just not being able to go see shows and I'm always playing them.
Sure.
This is my way of kind of filling myself back up after like putting out so much. There's so much output, like you need cultural input.
Yeah.
So I feel very fed and very grounded by having great art to look at as much as like you need to eat well and exercise and see nature. Yeah. So it's sort of a big picture.
That's more of like a creative or spiritual in some sense, like fills you up in what context?
Just having space to reflect. I think so much of my mission as an artist is to hold space for conversations that might not be had outside of the show space.
Sure.
So for me, this is so much about like just tuning into just the essential and the sort of the soft words like transcendence. The things that we can't quantify and turn into a data point. I think that's part of it, is that the more you work as a creative professional, the more you find that there's business aspects and tedium, like accounting, and other stuff that just kind of
count in and count out, like even merch count in, things like that.
And there's no controlling the wild experience that is being around the arts.
Yeah. What are some of like your favorite exhibits you've seen? Maybe even this year. Have you seen any that you would want to speak of, or recently?
Recently, I mean. Honestly, like I'm such a Cy Twombly fan that I go around to as many museums as I can just to look at his work in person. So there are some really great sculptures that I wasn't expecting to see here from his 20s.
Okay.
And that to me just seems like you know, for me being 29 now and kind of ending this decade,
Yeah.
to kind of look at one of my favorite artists and what he was making at the beginning of his adult life,
Right.
was really cool to me. And I love going to the Bacchus paintings in the permanent collection of the Tate Modern in London.
Okay.
I love those. I just love the musicality of his work.
Yeah.
It's representational and non-representational all at once, and just like the texture and the vibe, to me, is kind of how I think about music, because there's not, I tried to work to have a specific working language to understand how I'm relating things and making decisions and what my values are, but at the end of the day, there's this like very humanistic, organic intuition piece that is like really spiritual and without, there's like a knowingness, and that's all you really get. There's you could work at describing it, but I guess that's why we make work.
Yeah.
Is for that purpose.
Yeah. The knowingness you're saying is like you don't have to have those, like, not uncritical, but you don't have to have like those objective things stacked up to feel the way that you feel or to understand what you're seeing.
And I mean the calmness, you're just always in motion, and to have quiet reflection is so deeply important.
Yeah.
And so for me that takes place whether I have a lot of practices on tour where it's like I want to read different books or go watch a poetry reading on a day off, go to a museum, climb a mountain, go rock climbing. Like it's all a part of like a holistic approach to living a life in harmony with the world I'm in.
Yeah. And as far as that again, like as far as that input versus output discussion goes, do you feel like it's my birthday today, I'm 27.
Oh, happy birthday.
Yeah. So I'm coming to this, you know, you just think about your age a lot, I guess, and you being 29. I'm just curious, do you find that as you're aging, you have to put more in to release more? Like, does the output input levels change?
Yeah, but it's not in a consumption way.
Okay.
Like, it's kind of like, I find that I'm looking more because after a while as an adult you forget. So your mind is constantly preening, and you're kind of pruning out the types of knowledge that you don't need or skills that you don't use as often.
Yeah.
And so I think what becomes so important is as you get older and you're not new to the world, you have to remain just as curious.
I see.
I think it comes from a place of just wanting to be the best listener and the best, you know, lifelong learner that I can be.
Right.
So that I can continue to be in the moment and to create work that's real, that's like vital, and something that's true to me now. You know, so I'm always saying that wellness and happiness and success there's no linear path, and it's not a static thing.
Yeah.
And I kind of woke up, you know, in this part of my 20s, realizing the work that needs to be done to maintain is really all about just that youthful curiosity and finding time to be in awe. From family to community to just strangers to nature, I feel so indebted to this world. And so to have this journey be what it's been, and to have some road ahead of me, man, I feel so blessed.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.